Hey guys, what's going on? Daily Tactics here, and today we're going to be going over all of the Clone Trooper skins within Star Wars Battlefront 2. There was recently a big update that added Anakin Skywalker as well as just a ton of Clone Wars Clone Trooper skins to the game. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to go through a lot of the Clone Wars skins and check them out, see which ones we like, see which ones we don't like, my opinions on them, that sort of a thing, and also just check out some new bits of the update. So, yeah, actually my game isn't working whatsoever currently. I've been trying to launch it, I've been trying to repair it, I uninstalled and reinstalled completely, and it just does not want to work. So I found some video of the various different new Clone Trooper skins online, so we're just going to be using that to check it out today. So to start out with, we have the shiny standard Clone Trooper. I mean, nothing too special here. They're very cool. I mean, it's just regular armor. They're shinies, and you can't go wrong with standard armor, but it's nothing special, so let's move on. Next up, we have the 181st Armor Division, which are these green boys. They've got that nice green stripe down the visor as well as on the chest and on the arms. I think green on white is just a cool template to begin with. In fact, most of the clone templates that they use, they never really pick all that bad of colors that don't go well with that pearly white. So I gotta give this a big thumbs up. I think the 181st Armor Division looks pretty sweet. Then we move on to the 87th Sentinel Corps, which is the exact same sort of design appearance on the armor. We're not getting into anything wacky just yet, but these guys have a bit of a maroon on white type of a thing, and I like it. I mean, like I said, most of these are just color variations of each other, and I think it looks cool regardless. Next up, we have the 104th Wolfpack Battalion. I mean, okay, now we're getting into some intricate stuff, and you can't go wrong with this. It looks so cool. The insignia on the helmet, the shoulder design is very cool. The color scheme alone is pretty dope. It's one of the more like sort of rough ones. You know, it's gray on white. It's not like orange or blue or whatever. It's a hardier color, which I think goes well with the Legion as a whole. You know, they're the Wolfpack. They were destroyed by the Malevolence. They've got Commander Wolf as their commander. Just a very hardcore clone Legion. I think the armor serves it very well, and in-game it looks absolutely dope, something I'll definitely be repping once I get my game fixed. Next up, we have the 212th Attack Battalion, which of course is the orange color scheme, orange on white. I love these guys. These guys are sweet. You guys know, favorite Jedi of mine is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Favorite clone commander is Commander Cody, so how could I not love the 212th Attack Battalion? Orange on white is probably one of, if not my favorite of the color schemes in the Clone Wars, probably second only to like red on white, which I think looks very nice, which of course is the 65th Coruscant Guard, which we'll get to in a bit, but 212th Attack Battalion, gotta go with a yes on that one. That one looks sick. Next up, we got the 327th Star Corps, which of course is Commander Bly's Legion. Commander Bly's Legion looks just dope all the time. He's a cool commander with his visor and his pauldron, and then most of his men have some sort of equipment on his armor. This is more of a standard yellow template on just regular Clone Trooper armor, but in the movies it's a lot cooler with the pauldrons and things like that. So I think when we get to the heavy class and things like that, it'll be cooler for Bly's troopers. But right now it's just yellow on white, which is fine. Next up, we got the 41st Elite Corps Normal Trooper, which is typically gray. This almost looks like a hue of green, but normally it's gray on white, I thought, from the movies. And regardless, it's cool. It's just another color scheme. But then we go down to their special unit, which we see on Kashyyyk, the 41st Ranger Platoon, which is where you sort of get that typical Kashyyyk clone trooper style, which I think is just very cool. It's essentially just, you know, Woods camo on Clone Trooper armor, so how could you go wrong? I'd love it if we saw more Clone Trooper designs like this, you know, more practical stuff, maybe some sort of like water design on the clone armor, or I guess you wouldn't really need a snow design because that's just regular clone armor, even though there is snow trooper armor, but that's more about like surviving in the climate than camouflage. But You know what I mean. I'd love to see more designs about environmental designs like this, but I got to give this a big yes. This is from an older update because I have this armor, but it's good. Next up, we got the 501st Legion. I mean, come on. They're a classic. Blue on white, you cannot go wrong. Anakin Skywalker's Legion, who we see throughout the Clone Wars. So there's just a special connection between the audience and these clone designs. I mean, you got Captain Rex, you got Echo, you got Fives, you got Apo, you've got more. I can't think of more, but they're dope. I mean, you can't go wrong with the 501st Legion. They're a fan favorite for an absolute reason, and very cool design. Next up, we have the 91st Reconnaissance Corps, which, if you guys watch Rico's Brigade, that would be the designs on Flashpoint's armor, but these guys are cool. I like them because they don't go with the typical clone armor design. They don't just have that color scheme change. Instead, they've got the insignia all over their armor, which is that sort of like circle that's cut off with a circle in the middle. I think it's cool. I think it's a change of pace for most Clone Trooper armor, so I got to give it a big thumbs up. I think it looks cooler on Commander Neo, who has the special helmet to go with it, but this is also pretty nice. Next up, I already sort of talked about them a little, but the Coruscant Guard. These guys are dope. Okay, first of all, red on white is just so nice of a design on Clone Trooper armor to begin with, and then they also get their own special design on it. Chest plate has special paint going down the middle. Their belt is colored. They've got unique designs on their shoulder pads and on their helmet, and very, very cool designs too. They're almost like Roman legionnaire designs that you might see on the shields of Romans or Spartans or something like that. But very cool Roman and Greek mythological insignias all over the armor with that red on white. Such a special design, and you can't go wrong with it. I mean, Commander Fox alone is a cool design, but yeah, there's that. Then we get the 104th Battalion. Again, this time it's in Phase 2 armor. Pretty much the same thing, still very cool. Get the 212th again in Phase 2 armor. Once more, I think this is way better than the Phase 1 armor, 212th, personally. I think it looks very, very cool. Then you get the 327 Star Corps actually in Phase 2 armor, and I didn't realize this is where the pauldrons and things like that come in that I was talking about, and I think this is 10 times better than the Phase 1 armor. Pretty much a rule of thumb is the Phase 2 armor is better than the Phase 1 armor, I believe, with this game. That's just my personal opinion, though. Gotta give that a thumbs up. 41st Elite Corps, so yeah, it is green. I can see a bit better in this picture, but they have their own special designs on the armor and things like that themselves. It's not just a complete color scheme change. I like it. I think it's cool. Not much else to be said about it. And then we've got the... sorry, my video's pausing. Help. There we go. 41st Ranger Platoon in the Phase 2 armor. Basically the same thing as the Phase 1 armor. Actually, little designs on like the shoulder and the upper right chest plate. His upper right, my upper left. But yeah, like gray on the shoulders and there, which is kind of cool. A little bit of a difference there. Overall, pretty much the same as the Phase 1. I still like it though. It's still pretty nice. I think this is the one exception where they're basically the same. 501st, you get their classic armor. I mean, this looks sweet. 91st Recon Corps, you do end up getting that differentiation in the visor like we see in Commander Neo, which I think makes this armor 10 times cooler because it's not just a design change, but it's also the actual geometrical change in the helmet too, which I think is really neat, just because it just changes more and adds a little bit more. Then you get the Coruscant Guard, which is the typical sort of shock trooper looking dudes that we see in Revenge of the Sith, who guard the Chancellor and things like that. I think these are still very, very cool, but I actually, in this one, I think I like the Phase 1 troopers better, just personally. That might just be personal preference. And then let's see here. The video goes on to just show off the Phase 1 once more, and then it shows off the Phase 2 once more. Okay, and now we're going to get into the heavy troopers here. We've got our standard default appearance, which is actually a differentiation from what we got previously in the normal update, but now they're changing it a bit. I think they took away the pauldron, or did it have a pauldron? It took away like the belt cape thingy, I think, and they just made the visor gray. But I mean, there's not much else to say about it than that. Then we're moving on to the 181st Armor Division, Phase 2, and pretty much the same as, it's just a color palette change in this one. Then the 87th Sentinel is another color palette change. Then we move on to the 104th Battalion, another color palette change. Same with the 212th Attack Battalion, and we're sort of rotating between Phase 1 and Phase 2 here. 327 Star Corps, another palette change. 41st Elite Corps, another palette change. I mean, it's essentially just palette changes from here on. Still looks pretty cool, though. I always digged the heavy uniform and things like that. Getting into Phase 2 stuff here looks way better. They get that satchel thing going on. They get a pauldron, which I think looks very, very nice. But it's essentially the assault class just with various different armors and things like that. I think the Phase 2, once again, looks far better than the Phase 1 overall. Just in my honest opinion. Okay, so now we're going to move on to officers. And, I mean, really, it's essentially more color palette changes, except this time around we get an antenna on the helmet. And then Phase 2 actually looks pretty neat. You get pauldrons in there once more, but with the antenna. Honestly, for me, Clone Troopers, when they have more and more accessories on their bodies, I like it better. It's just a personal preference of mine. So, officers basically just add the antenna, so adds on to what we saw earlier. And then moving on to specialists, we see basically the same thing where you just add the visor to it instead of adding an antenna, which again, it's the same sort of color schemes and things like that, except this time you get the visor on it, which I still think is pretty cool. I dig it overall. I think these were some great additions to the game. I love that they're adding more to the Clone Wars, because that's honestly my favorite era to sort of fight in-game. I will definitely be doing some streams of in-game, so we'll be able to show off these skins live. Might be a little while until that happens, but I'm excited to do it. Either way, guys, this is just sort of a bonus video for the day that I thought I would share because it's Star Wars news. Let me know if you guys wanted me to do more like weird, quirky Star Wars content rather than my typical Men of War Star Wars mod videos. I'd like to branch out and get more out there, possibly widen to a wider audience. I don't know. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Comment and subscribe if you did. I'll see y'all later. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.